Hi guys, happy Wednesday. What an interesting morning I've had with a renter, and I do want to share what happened because there is definitely a lesson to be learned. So I had a booking this past weekend for one of my BMWs. Everything was fine in terms of the transaction was smooth. And, I didn't anticipate to have any problems with this particular trip up until it came time for the car to return, which I think I mentioned this in my video 2 days ago, where I was kind of having that domino effect of rentals. And it was the very last story I shared, where at the very end, the guy complained about having bald tires when he was submitting an extension. Well, that same guy actually ended up being a problem post rental, and I did not see this coming. And so this was really interesting. And actually, what I want to do is read the entire conversation to you guys so that if something like this ever happens to you, you kind of know the signs to look out for. Okay, so refresher. He booked the car for the weekend, picked it up on Friday. The car was due back at, I believe it was 3 p.m. on a Monday. He asked for his first extension, which was up until I think 4 o'clock, which no problem. And that was the time where he mentioned the ball tires, but I knew that that car did not have ball tires. Not only that, but in the check-in photos, I did have photos showing the tire tread on the wheels, and they were not anywhere near being bald. And then he actually submitted a second extension because he was running late or whatever, and that was for 5 p.m. He did return the car on time and everything was good. I thought that was it, right? He ended up going over his miles by 81 miles. So whatever, I checked out the car, submitted the reimbursement request. It ended up being, I think, $68 for the mileage overage, and that was that. Thought I was done with that rental. Didn't hear back from him on Monday. Today is Wednesday, so this is when I finally heard back from him because he disputed the mileage overage. So here's what happened. I want to read it to you guys. So he booked the car for pickup on Friday, and he had the pickup time for 4:30. Last minute, he requested to change the time to 3:30, which I said no problem. At that time, I was actually at the tire shop getting brand new rear tires for the car because they were almost due, and I was like, I might as well get it done. I thought I had till 4:30, but he ended up wanting to come earlier, and I was like, I'll be done by then. I might be 10 to 15 minutes late, at which point he said, so I guess let me read it to you guys. I notified him that, I might be 10 to 15 minutes late at most. And then he was like, okay, I'm here. I will go around and wait. I said, okay, thank you so much. They're mounting the tire now. The shop is really close by, only 8 minutes away from the meeting location. He said, okay, don't worry about it. Better to be safe than sorry. I was like, okay, perfect. Almost done. And then I kept updating him. I was like, I'm on my way, be there in 5 minutes. So his pickup time was at 3:30. This is now at 3:40, where I'm saying I'm 5 minutes away. So it was exactly within that 15-minute time frame that I gave him in terms of me running late because I was getting the new tires. I told him pulling in. He said, okay. I was like, the car's parked and ready to go for you. Told him where it was. Keys in the center console. It was a Turo Go rental, so he could just check in and get the car. He said, thank you so much. And then, we kind of go through it. The rental happens, right? So then this is the message that I got when he first wanted to extend the trip. It says, hi there. I wanted to see if I could turn in the car later today. I will go over the 3:30 timing, so it charges me for the full 3 days. I just can't really drive it in the rain because your front tires are kind of bald, and I don't want to risk driving it in these conditions. I will send a request for the time change after 3:30 so I can be charged the rental time. Thank you. Okay, so for one, already his message sounds odd, okay? If any of you live here in Southern California, then you would know that on Monday, we maybe got like a light sprinkle of moisture, not even real rain. And especially during the time of his rentals, it was not raining at all. Okay, so that was already kind of, I found it interesting because I was like, it's not even raining, so I don't know what this guy is talking about. And then he said that, I will pay the extra charges for the rental time. But there were no extra charges because he was still within his window of extending without being charged. So he went ahead and sent the request. He extended from It looks like from 3:30 to 4:30, there was no additional charge. And then I responded to him. I said, hey, no problem. I'll definitely check up on the tires when you return the car. Before and after every rental, Turo does require us to check tire tread, so it meets the safety requirements for every trip they've set. So I'll be sure to replace if need be. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day. So I was just kind of being nice. I don't want to like play into his comment about the tire. I just wanted to let him know that it is checked. And if I don't even know if he went through the photos, he would have seen that pictures of the tire with the tire tread gauge were there. So I kind of just left it at that, right? And then he goes, no, thank you so much. I appreciate it. The car is an amazing vehicle. Just want to be safe. Thank you and have a blessed day as well. And then I get another extension request. It says, I won't make it by 4:30. Is 5 to 5:15 okay? And I said, yeah, no problem. So he sent it. I accepted it. All good, right? And again, he did not get any additional charges from any of his extensions like he stated in his previous message. And then he returned the car on time at 5:03 p.m. And he said he'd let me know where the car was parked. Okay, got the car. Just shortly after, I submitted the reimbursement request for the 81 miles over, so I messaged him about that. So this was the message that I woke up to this morning at 6:30 a.m. So he disputes the reimbursement, right? He goes, I am not disputing miles over. I'm disputing the condition of vehicle. I don't think Turo hosts should be able to rent out cars in the condition this was in. Tires are bald from the front. It is not as the pictures describe. Rims are all dented. I think people should upload pictures of the car up to date, not for people to be lured into a lie. I requested to end my trip short, not because of miles, but because it was raining and the car wasn't in condition to drive it in rain. The passenger side front tire was bald. I took pictures. 2 tires were okay, which is the picture they uploaded, but they didn't load the front and back one they had replaced before I picked it up. Please make sure all Turo renters are being told the truth about rentals, or they should cancel trips so they can fix their cars, not last minute. I will pay the mileage, but I want a refund for being lied to about conditions of vehicle. So this is the message that I woke up to, and it's really, really rare for a renter to get under my skin and kind of provoke me to feel like really angry towards a renter, but this was definitely one of them. First of all, his message made absolutely no sense. He said that he had to shorten his trip because of the bald tires and because it was raining, when in fact he extended his trip from the original return time. So what he's talking about there, absolutely no idea. Then he said that I didn't upload pictures of the front tires or the front, whatever he said, driver's side tire, because that one was bald and I only uploaded pictures of the other ones. That's absolutely not true. All the tires photos were uploaded. So that was just a total false claim. And then he added on that the rims had curb rash. That he is not lying about. The rims do have curb rash, but I'm not going to come out of pocket right now and get them fixed because business has been down. And as we all know, it's really hard to get rims covered through the claims process. So I'm going to wait until they get dinged up a little bit more and then get a full fresh set of repaired rims. So yes, he is right in that they are damaged, but they're not damaged to the point where it's an eyesore. Ooh, sorry guys, getting a call. So that was just way outlandish. And then finally for him to round it off with, oh, I'll pay the mileage overage, but I want a refund for the entire trip because I was lied to about the condition of the car. I mean, that just doesn't make any sense. Why would you want to pay your mileage overage, but you don't want to pay for the trip? Wouldn't you want to not pay for anything? So basically the conclusion that I came to was in his initial message when he had asked to extend his trip, and also mentioned that he would pay for the extra charges, I think he brought up the bald tires so that I wouldn't later charge him for the mileage overage. So that's sort of what my guess is as to what his end game was in sending these types of messages. So when I saw this early in the morning, I was so heated. And, I typed up this big long response to him because I was angry. And then, I had to take a minute and kind of step back, and I decided, you know what? He's actually really not even worth responding to. Somebody like that you can't even really have a conversation with or smooth things over with. So what I decided to do was I actually contacted Turo support. When a reimbursement request gets denied, Turo will automatically get sent to their support and they'll review it. So before that could even happen, I decided to contact them first because something seemed really, really wrong about this. There are absolutely instances where as a host, you can be in the wrong, that maybe, you did have a bald tire from the inside wall and you didn't notice it. That has happened to me where from the outside, tire looked great. Tire tread looked good. It looks like a brand new tire, but it was wearing unevenly on the inside. Maybe your alignment's off. And in that case, if there's something that is wrong with the car and it is on your end, of course, you totally own up to that and try to offer some sort of concession to make it right with the renter and so that they have a good experience and so that they'll come back. I've done that so many times. I had a renter, poor girl, rented one of my BMWs, went to Palm Springs on a hot summer day. AC crapped out. There's no way I could have anticipated that, and I felt so bad for her, and I absolutely offered her a refund because that was not her fault. So things like that, they do happen, especially when you have multiple cars. They can happen more frequently than if you just have one or two cars, especially if you're trying to maintain so many cars. And in those cases, 100%, you own up to it and you try to work with the renters, try to offer them, maybe a partial refund, a full refund, depending on the case, offer them a discount the next time they come back around, make it right. But this was really, 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 really wrong because whatever he described was a complete lie. And I had the pictures to back in. He's want to talk about the condition of that car. That car is in immaculate condition and my photos prove it, right? And I'm happy for anyone to come and challenge me, come rent my car and come see for yourself. That car is, number one, it's spotless, it's disinfected. I had Purell wipes in the car for the renter, really trying to go above and beyond and provide a great experience. So I messaged support and I basically just explained what happened, and my concern was that I felt really uncomfortable with this because it was just so off basis. And so that's basically what I said to them. And in my message, I also said, I don't know if this guy has any previous history of doing something like this because he does have a lot of trips under his account, but it also seems like he was mostly renting from the same person for the most part. So then I just mentioned that, I don't know if there's a previous history of this, but I thought it was best if I didn't get involved in this because I don't want to escalate this any further or egg somebody on. And that's when I really, really appreciate having the backing of Turo support because they can really step in and kind of handle these situations. So I emailed support this morning, and literally about an hour later after submitting my support ticket, I heard right back from support. So thank you, support, for really handling that in such a timely manner. That was awesome. Of course, support reviewed everything, and that's what I said in my email. I was like, you guys can go through the trip photos, and if you need any additional documentation from me, I'm more than happy to provide it because I know the condition of my car. And so that's what I said to them. They got back to me. They, of course, ruled the reimbursement request in my favor and also said that, they just gave me a lot of assurance that they were going to take the matter from here on out. My agent was awesome. He even emailed me and said that, hey, if this guy tries to get in touch with you, make sure you let me know if he's trying to sidestep any communication that I'm having with him because he should only speak directly with me. So that was really awesome. And the lesson to be learned from all of this, because this is a question that I get all the time, is I get questions from hosts saying, hey, sometimes I feel uncomfortable filing for a reimbursement request or maybe a smoking fee or a cleaning fee or even a damage claim, maybe on something that was small or something that I could handle, because I'm worried that the renter is going to leave me a bad rating and I don't know if it's worth it to get that bad rating. And my rule of thumb on these situations is that no matter what the case is, you always have to do the right thing, whatever is right for that situation. So in this case, this guy was so off basis that the right thing was that I should charge him for the reimbursement. I should reach out to support because this is just totally not right. And I don't care what type of review he leaves me, like we're going to do the right thing here. He's not going to kind of corner me into not charging him for the miles that he went over. And it wasn't even some crazy amount that he went over by. So if you ever find yourself in that situation, that is the rule of thumb. Do what is right. If your car came back with the damage and there was no previous damage and you have all the proper documentation clearly showing that that is the case, then of course file the claim. If your car comes back and it's full of ash and it smells like smoke, file for the cleaning fee because that's not right. And make sure you also leave an honest review, right? So even in this case, as irritated and mad as I got at this renter, when I leave his review, I'm not going to bring any emotion into that. I'm literally just going to state the facts. Like, hey, this guy rented my car. He wanted to extend, complain about having bald tires, even though the pictures show that that was not the case. Then he extended another time, and then he disputed my reimbursement request. Then he continued to say that, the car was not in great condition and that the tires were bald and that he was lied to about the condition of the car and that he wanted a full refund for his trip after utilizing the entire car and not mentioning anything during the actual trip. So I'm literally just going to state the facts because I think for other hosts who might get a booking from him, you should really clearly know exactly what happened and that your review as a host to the guest should share exactly what the facts for. So you don't need to overinflate it or over exaggerate it. You just want to state things as they are and see them as they are. So if you're worried about getting a bad review, that's what the response feature is for. Should somebody corner you in a position that is unfair and that results in you getting a bad review, I would challenge that 100%. Make sure you respond to that review. Maybe try reaching out to support and have them reevaluate the situation and see if there's anything that they can do to help you maintain your profile and just really have it represent the truth. So that's kind of what happened. It's been a long time since I've had somebody like this, and just have it be such an outlandish remarks about the car and what happened, and just completely so far from the truth. So I wanted to share that with you guys so that if you guys ever come across something like this, that's how I have found is the best way to deal with it. It's not even worth your time to communicate back with somebody who you just know is just not going to be really responsive or willing to take in anything that you have to say, especially when what they're saying is not making any sense. So rule of thumb is do what is right and make sure that you have proper documentation to back it up should you need to fight it or refute it. Because again, we are in the rental market. We can't control who rents our cars because we don't know these people. So you will likely come across things like this. And when you do, this is how you deal with it. So that's what happened, guys. Really interesting morning, really bizarre renter, and really kind of a bummer because, I thought he was a renter on the platform who has rented many times before and had great reviews, even though that it was just from a handful of hosts and mostly from one host who he probably has a relationship with. But that is not how it panned out for me. And I can't say for certain if he's done something like this in the past, but it definitely seems like he might have tried to pull something like this in the past as well. And kind of circling back around to the issue that I had with my 2 series and my brakes, where so many of you commented about guests out there who try to get refunds or travel credits by saying things like this, who maybe learn the system. I see what you guys are talking about. I definitely see what you're talking about. But I think, it'll be in no time where if this is really becoming a common occurrence, that of course Turo is going to catch on to that. They don't want to issue refunds and issue people travel credits for things that are not really happening, right? That hurts their bottom line as well. So I think that it's all going to sort of correct itself very soon here. And in the end, it'll benefit Turo and it'll benefit us hosts for sure. So yeah, hopefully that gives you guys some insight if you guys deal with people like this. But that was my morning. And on that note, I'll wrap up this video. Just wanted to share that story with you guys. Thanks again for watching, guys. Do follow me on Instagram at Saimah's Experience. I post throughout the day with different things going on with my bookings. So you guys can definitely stay in touch with what's happening. It definitely 100% seems like the market is picking up far faster than what anyone anticipated. I even spoke to my account manager today, and he was kind of expressing the same thing, that we are definitely seeing an uptick in the market far faster than what was anticipated, even on Turo's end. So that's really good. Will that continue to be the case? We shall see. We don't know. We are playing in uncertain times. So, so far so good. Hopefully, we can really capture that summer business rather quickly here and make up for some of the losses that we experienced. So thanks again for watching. Once again, my name is Saimah. This is Saimah's Experience, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. If you like this channel, be sure to subscribe. Leave me your questions and comments below. Thank you all for your support and your contributions. Truly always so appreciated. The comments lately have been awesome with so much important feedback that could help so many people. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I know that there are other people who are looking to get into Turo or become hosts, or who are new hosts, who definitely read this stuff. So your efforts are really worth something. So thank you so much in helping building this community, guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.